Hello guys, it's me LilPotato, and today we're doing something different. Last week I did a poll on my channel page and 92% of the participants wanted a speed build of Ryan, Kenji's best friend and Korra's new romantic interest, house. Full disclaimer, I am in no way a builder, but that doesn't change the fact that I really like doing it, so I hope this turns out okay. For this building, I moved out the Nishidaki household that resided in the current lot you're seeing, and after looking around the build, I decided that the shell of the house was already pretty nice. And I gotta admit that EA popped off with the houses for the Snowy Escape expansion pack, a sentiment that I don't really share for most of the other packs I own, but not having to design the exterior means I can focus more on the interior and make it a house that reflects its residents. I started out by deleting all the furnishings other than the bathrooms and kitchen for this build, and I also added a teeny tiny twist to it. Last night I created a little sister for Ryan. Her name is Olive. Although I just created her, we're gonna pretend that she's been there all along, for the storyline. And she's an unpleasable dance machine and loner sim. She generally dresses in comfy clothes and she doesn't really care what she looks like most of the time. And I feel like I did both Ryan and her justice because they do share similarities and resemblance to one another. But for this build, I want you guys to keep in mind that she's an edgy and lazy teenager who likes the colors green and purple. She's also very talented in dancing and she's getting into DJing as a side hobby. And as for Ryan, we know that he likes the color black and blue and he's into playing the guitar, skiing, and video games. And Korra, he's also not a very tidy sim, so I will be adding a lot of clutter throughout the house. Since this house will belong to these two young sims, one being a teenager and one being a young adult, I focused on making the place feel lived in, young, and kind of a little messy. But up to this point, I feel like that's all I wanted to say. And the second twist I added to this lot is its basement. I decided to add a basement when I realized the entry to the house was feeling a bit bland and empty, and there was this dead space in between the dining area and the living room area. And also I wanted to give Olive a DJ booth where she could practice at home, but her room didn't have enough space for a DJ booth. Therefore I added the basement. This basement is more like a club room in the sense that it has a lot of objects for activities and skills, and is overall a fun hangout room where Ryan and Olive has their friends over. I also imagine Ryan being an overprotective older brother and Olive being a bit of a troublemaker. And I have the feeling that they do not spend too much time together, but both of them know how much the other one cares and loves them. So that's the relationship dynamic that I imagine for them, I guess. You might be wondering what I'm doing right now because I'm just placing items randomly all around the house and just like somehow trying to do something, but it doesn't look like anything. Well, this is my building method. I usually go into decorations and select all decorations, just go through the whole catalog and find everything that I like and put it in the rooms that I want them to go in. The rooms could change, the items could not even stay in the build, but I just want to have a fewer selection to choose from when building and decorating to make things easier down the line. And that is currently what I'm doing, so I just wanted to hop in and explain that because it might seem a little weird, but I'll let you go back to your chill zen music right now. I feel like this will turn into an expose because of how much I changed my mind throughout the whole build, because I did this in like multiple sessions, and I would finish one session and I would edit the recording that I have of the previous session, and while editing I noticed stuff that I do not like and do not want to keep. When I go back to creating again, I would just like delete it and redo it and vice versa, and this kept repeating. So I understand if you get confused with my building style because it's all over the place, like it has no rhyme or reason, but it's just the way I like to do it, because if I start from one point and carry on onward from that point and don't look back ever, I feel like I'm just like doing myself a disservice. Okay, I'm talking nonsense now. Okay, I'll let you guys go back to this, whatever this was. I'm hopping in to say, if you want to see me do stuff like this in the future, do tell. For example, I didn't think you guys would want this, but since you did, I'm happy to deliver. And I hope you had a chill and fun time while watching this and liked the end result of the house. Anyway, I'm really excited to use this house in the next episodes of the Wild Child series. For example, when Cora would want to visit Ryan, now she can visit him and he has some type of family at least. He's not just a random NPC anymore because he's one of the characters now. That's what he gets for becoming a romantic interest. I really was not planning on this, if you couldn't tell by how unprepared I was for Ryan, but it's quite fun, you know? I like unexpected twists in my gameplay. Anyway, I hope you have a great day and a week, and I hope to see you in the next episode of Wild Child. And bye!